G'day guys, how's it going? It's Bloodteeth here, bringing you another video of Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath. And in today's video I'd like to show you a few things. Of course, I've made more progress since the last time I put up a video. Quite a bit of progress actually. I've done a mixture of Talisman Fragment hunting plus also some endurance runs. Right now it seems like, at least for the earlier levels where I attempt them, endurance runs, the norm is around, in excess of 10 million now, which is pretty fantastic actually. There we go, 11.2 million here. Let's see, actually the ones I've tried are in V-Tile. Now what I'd like to show you, that's not too bad. I think I overextended myself and I screwed up on this one, but one of you actually made the comment that maybe I should instead just do what they do, which is when going for endurance runs, what they do is they only put on overcrowd as a battle trait. They max that out and they leave everything else alone. And to make up for all of the XP that would have normally come from all of the battle traits, instead what they do is they just enrage like crazy. They enrage early and they enrage hard. So I tried that method on field V4, and I also tried my normal method, which is to crank up as many battle traits as I can on field V1, and I just wanted to see which one would be better. Now for my method, or the method that most people use, I got 14.3 million XP. Now I know these two fields aren't exactly the same, but for all intent purposes they're kind of quite similar, which makes this all the more a little bit confusing to me, because for field V4 with only overcrowd on and enraging as much as possible, I got 14.3 million XP. What's going on here? I don't know. What I do know is that I'm not complaining about the amount of XP from those two runs. They were pretty sweet. I don't know, maybe I could fine-tune or try and focus more attention on micromanaging the enraging and the mana farm and all of that in this particular method that I used on V4 with just overcrowd on, to maybe squeeze a little bit more XP, maybe a lot more XP, I don't know. I'll have to experiment with that a little bit more, but at least I know that it's a valid method. Like, it's not a theory, it's reasonably well proven right here, for me at least. So that was interesting. Just to show you XP record traits for endurance. There we go. Overcrowd, and also I put on Dark Masonry and Haste because, well, I can handle haste, that's no problem. It just means waves come a little faster, that's all. And Dark Masonry, I can handle that quite comfortably as well. That's not really a problem. V1 endurance. Let's see what the record traits were. Here is a little bit of a different story. I've got a smattering of a whole bunch of other stuff to try and help pump up that XP a little bit more. So the multiplier here, 7.8 times. The multiplier in V4 was 4.6. So basically, not quite double the amount of XP multiplier on V1, and I got the same result. So that's interesting. I'm going to have a play with that a little bit more, this other method I used in V4, a little bit later, and I'll see if I can come up with some reasonable results. But for this video I wanted to actually show you what I do now to go ahead and hunt for talisman fragments. My wizard level is now 511. My talisman is sort of getting there, I suppose you could say. Let's see, let me show you the talisman at the moment. I've been trying to get really high rarity fragments in here as much as I can, replacing older, less rare fragments where I can, to try and get more of a bonus. And at the moment, let's see, I think the last time I showed you a video I was sitting on around plus 340 or 360% initial mana. That's now up to 537%. I can really feel that. That is a massive difference. The reason being is because I've got a couple of high rarity gems here that I've replaced older ones with. Let's see, I've also got it's not that great, but a 57 rarity fragment here as well I used to replace an existing one. I'm struggling to find all of the fragments that I need that are either corner or edge fragments with the right markings on them. That's kind of becoming a little bit difficult. But aside from that, I'm still happy to go ahead and replace all of these, lower rarity fragments with much better ones if they have the same markings. Because, yeah, it all helps. It all goes towards giving me that better bonus. Check this out too. I only just recently got this. Rarity 96, so almost 100. It's got +1 to all skill levels. I didn't realize how useful it is to have a fragment with +1 to all skill levels, because the way it stands, usually with your skills, you need to get that secondary multiplier, or that secondary bonus that is that exists for every single one of these skills. The one in the orange writing, like for example, additional +8% higher bleeding gem component power for grade 7+ gems. That only ticks up every 5 or so effective skills levels for these all of these skills, and every time you get a +1 to all skill levels, then effectively you can drop the skill level of all of your skills that were affected by that by 1, which means you get all of those skill points back, which means your unspent skill points go up. To put that into real terms, when I got this particular fragment, it did replace another fragment which I do believe did not have +1 to anything at all. So effectively, by putting in this particular fragment, let's see, there are no there's a percentage mana for starting waves early bonus, but there's no other mana bonuses that I can see, which kind of sucks. But having said that, it doesn't suck too much, because essentially when I put this in, I noticed straight away that after adjusting all of my skills and getting all of those skill points back to level it out, the result was for my starting mana, it jumped something like an extra 12,000 at the very start of the next game. So yeah, that's reasonably significant. Was it 12,000 or 8,000? Anyway, it was a reasonable amount. So, to be able to get that 25 times over, essentially, more or less, by filling up your talisman with fragments that have all got +1 to all skill levels, that can also really, really help stack onto your initial mana, which is very important, at least in the early and mid game for this particular version of Gemcraft, from what I understand. Apparently, from what I've heard, in the really late game, apparently the thing that actually matters most is the percentage of wizard level goes to initial XP and mana. Apparently that is what actually matters most, and it outscales all the rest of the bonuses when it comes to getting a good amount of starting mana. But we're talking about people who have wizard levels in excess of 3,000 to 5,000, that sort of thing. Until then, your best bet is to try and get these bonuses as much as possible. And right now, where I'm sitting, I'm sitting pretty at the moment. Actually, I'm finally comfortable with where I am at. And to show you just how much easier it makes my life, the last time I showed a video or took a video on YouTube that showed basically how to try and farm for talisman fragments, I do believe my wizard level was about half of what it is now. I was not activating any of the bonuses in my talisman because I didn't really know about them at the time, and I was telling everyone to go on either field W1 or And thank you for the comment for someone who actually told me this. Instead go to field, is it S1? Or something like that. Yeah, I think field S1, because that way you start with some traps and you can put poison gems in your traps. Basically trying to grind through playing these fields in journey mode and completing them with as much battle traits on as possible, while putting poison gems in sporadic traps all over the place to essentially finish the field. Basically grinding through and playing those in journey mode, 3 or 4 or 5 times over, will give you a chance of getting 1 or 2 fragments, which might be of a rarity of around 50 or so. Now back then that was quite nice. That was quite I would not complain about that. It's a pretty cheap and cheesy way of grinding through and getting yourself some decent fragments to get some of those bonuses. But now that I've got the talisman tweaked a lot more, and also my wizard level is sitting relatively pretty, I do what just about everyone else does now, which is to go ahead and farm for fragments in field A1 on journey mode. Basically how fragments work, from what I understand, from what I've been reading, is that there's a certain percentage chance of an extra fragment to drop after a certain wavestone has started, I believe. And there are certain gates that hold back exactly how many fragments you might get. So for example, there's a small chance that you might get a fragment drop from, wave 1 to wave 20 or something like that. I forget exactly what the math is, but basically during those waves there's a chance that you'll get actually no, hold on, let me say that again. From wave 1 onwards there is a chance that you can get a fragment. From wave 20 onwards there is a chance that you can get a second fragment. Wave 40, 3 fragments. Wave 40, 4 fragments. And they all remain a chance to get a fragment, basically. So essentially I think the last gate for non-endurance runs in journey mode is wave 80. Now A1 is a great field because you can always pump up dark masonry as much as you want and not be worried about it, because there's nowhere for beacons to go ahead and spawn in. So that's kind of like a free multiplier to the talisman drop rarity range. And B, because it has 90 waves, which means you've got a chance of getting now I think it's 5 or 6 fragments is the absolute maximum you can have drop in any one field. But in reality you usually get about 2 or 3 fragments every time you play field A1. If you're getting 4 fragments, then you're getting lucky. This is a good field to play, and yes, my journey XP on this field is 5.6 million. I know it's a bit insane, but honestly I'm not going for the experience, I'm going for the fragments. And a nice little side bonus of playing field A1 for hunting talisman fragments is that I also tend to get quite a few shadow cores. Yes, I do crank up ritual to the max, but even without ritual you still get quite a few shadow cores. I think while playing this field and hunting for fragments, I don't ever have a need to go ahead and hunt for shadow cores specifically. There's no need anymore, which is nice. Let's see, let's crank this up a little bit. Alright, 5. Let's see what else strength in numbers, that doesn't really bother me anymore, which is nice. I'm still not going to touch hatred or vital link because honestly they're just insane. I don't want that hassle. Let's see, I can put a little bit of awakening on without too much of a hassle. Insulation, I can probably get away with 5. I'm not going to touch corrupted banishment because I know that I banish waves later on in the game, and even reasonably early on in the game actually. I find I'm still banishing quite a few monsters, so the last thing I want to do is give them a bit of a buff and just make things exponentially difficult for me. Maybe as I progress, if I'm having no troubles stopping waves from banishing at least early on, I might actually start putting up Corrupted Banishment to the max and increase my rarity range a little bit more. Actually, I'm just curious. What happens if we... What's the rarity range? Okay, so if we played like this, which is not going to happen for me, then basically every single fragment that drops that I get, especially with this rarity booster on, they're going to be fragments that are 90 and above rarity. And I'm not sure if it's an even chance for the rarity to be there, or if it extends. Actually, it doesn't extend. Basically, you get a fragment that's a rarity between 80 and 100, and then whatever that is, afterwards it just boosts it by 10. So basically, with your battle traits cracked up to the max, basically you got a 1 in 2 chance of actually getting a fragment of rarity 100. That's pretty sweet. But we're not going to do that because we're not insane. Let's see. If I put that to 4, this to 6. Is this where it was before? Oh, definitely not that. Yeah, I'm fairly comfortable with this. So basically my fragments will be between 56 and 100. I've been getting a couple of sweet ones within the range of about a rarity of around 80 with this method. Not complaining. Let's see how I go. I know how I go. I've already beaten this about 10 times like this. And you know what, it just gets easier and easier every time I get more fragments that add more bonuses that make my life easier. But anyway, let's go. Oh, I'm not sure if I showed my skills. I think I did show my skills, so there you go. Basically, it's skills that are... I hate it when that happens. Skills that are kind of... they are biased towards a mana farm, but they are also a little bit biased towards a critical hit gem as a kill gem as well. So it's kind of like a compromise. Having said that though, the mana farm is, I'm not going to lie, pretty awesome. Especially when considering what, if I think back to not that long ago, I was really struggling to get mana. Yeah, I can't complain. Things are much easier now, which is good. Let's see. I usually open up with grade 5 gems now in my mana farm, and I just max those out, and whatever's remaining I'll just chuck it into the enrage slot as a yellow gem, so that I have the option to take it out and quickly shove it in the tower if need be. Let's see, what are we looking at? 917, 1014. But these bad boys do around 50 damage per hit anyway, and they shoot pretty fast, so most of these monsters, if they don't die, they're going to be very wounded. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Too easy. Alright, let's shove this poison gem in here. I think I got one. Alright. I think it's time for me to teach these cheeky buggers a lesson. Okay, grade 6 only. That kind of sucks, but that's okay. We can survive and thrive. That worked. So basically the strategy is reasonably simple. Having said that, I find that I usually struggle within the first 30 waves or so a little bit. Not really struggle, but I find I have to spend a lot more of my mana and therefore my efforts focusing away from the mana farm and more on just trying to stop these monsters from getting through, because as these giants fill up the area, unfortunately what they do is they also distract all of these gems in the traps from hitting all of the swarmlings that is kind of just running by. And as a result, what happens is we get swarmlings with, like, shields coming up to my kill gem, and the last thing my kill gem wants to have to deal with is shields. So it just slows down progress. Look, see, we got 2 shields here, no shields, smattering of shields. They all start with, I think, 4 shields coming into the field, which isn't so bad, but yeah, it's just a little annoyance. Something I wish I didn't have to deal with, but hey, that's the price of trying to essentially crank up your battle traits as much as possible. I just realised I said the blatantly obvious, didn't I? Fair enough. This is good YouTube content. Anyway, enough chat. Let's get this going. So, 1, 2, 3. Put a couple of mana leeching there. And we continue. Oh, also, keep an eye out for those wizard hunters. Pardon me, at the front door. You need to be Johnny on the spot with those things and clean them up really quickly, otherwise they're going to make your life a living hell. Let's see. I can upgrade and give it the full treatment. Kill this thing. And hopefully stay on top of everything. What sucks about having so many of these bloody shielded swarms is that I end up spending my barrage and beam on my kill gem rather than spending them here to buff up my mana farm and make it, 30% better for a cut price. That's the ideal solution, is to focus on getting your mana farm going as quickly as possible, so that you can make your kill gem so overpowering so quickly and easily that you don't have to worry about it for a while, and then you go back to making lots of mana and you just keep going back and forth. That is the ideal solution, but right now I am very far away from that. In fact, you know what, I'm going to have to freeze these monsters. I'm also going to white out these for the extra mana from the mana farm. Let's see, how are we looking? Not too great. Let's see. Hey, whatever happens to these orblets, I don't want them to be carried by reavers or swarmlings. I want them to be carried by giants, so that I know they'll be carried slowly. Yeah, bloody. Come here. Did I upgrade everything here? No, I didn't. Where did I stop? There. Yeah, this is going okay. I'm not complaining. Yeah, let's just quickly shove this in here. Kill that apparition and then get back to it. Now, I can afford to do this. Makes a reasonable difference without making too much of a dent in my mana. There we go. Now it's shooting fast enough. You know you're doing alright when you're keeping up with swarm as it passes by your kill gem. That is definitely not a situation to be complaining about. Uh-oh. Look at this. Shields, shields, shields. Not much, but enough for me to justify using another beam. Okay, this isn't bad. I've got a shadow on the field. I've also got no wizard hunters yet, which is quite nice. There we go. Okay, I've never had that problem before. Also, also, I realised that I'm still only enraging with a grade 3 gem. I could probably afford to enrage a lot more, but, well, baby steps. Alright, let's shove grade 6 gems here. Here. One for here, for when I need to quickly shove my gem in here and kill wizard hunters, and the rest can be for the mana farm. Alright, let's upgrade a couple of times. Let's also upgrade these gems inside the amplifiers a little bit. Now, okay, I can upgrade 10 of these, which is not the worst thing in the world. 9 of these, which is not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. Alright, where are we at? Let's see. You increase specials. You fire faster. You go away because you're redundant now. Let's see. And you guys just get a lucky dip. And essentially this is it. Just go ahead and play through, try and enrage. I'm not sure if enraging increases your chances of getting a fragment or increases your chances of getting a higher rarity fragment. I don't know. I would not be surprised if the answer was no, but I don't know for sure. So maybe if someone could clear that up in the comments, that'd be great. But only if you know. No guessing. Come on. Alright, let's upgrade that a little bit. And here we go again. Same old gems, just a different day. I have to admit, as much as I'd like playing this game, sometimes it really is just a bit of a grind to go through and play this over and over again. Kind of get sick of the sight of this one field. What am I doing? I should be whiting out everything like crazy. There we go. Okay. Time for another round of upgrading. What I would like to do is somehow magically, before I get to wave 75, all of the gems in my mana farm need to be grade 12. Oh, hello. I've got a bit of a imbalance here. Well, that's a nice surprise. You know what? I think I'm going to do it. I've got the mana for it. So let's go for it. And then after I've got grade 12 gems here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade all of the gems in all of these amplifiers to grade 12 as well, essentially. It makes a huge difference to not so much the mana leeching per hit, but it makes a big difference to the number of shots per second. Okay. Oh, hello. I almost didn't see it. Wizard Hunter. Let's shove it on specials and get rid of that bad boy. Whew, that was close. Alright. You know what? Let's just go ahead and clear out all of this mush as much as we can. Freeze all of that just because, for fun. I don't know why. Doesn't really matter. Pay attention to how much mana I'm getting. 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what? Let's let the pull extend at level 18. Okay. Now that that's done. Oh, another Wizard Hunter. Is this thing actually going to shoot? Probably not. Oh well, not my problem anymore. He's gone. And so is this shadow. Pop. These monsters, it's kind of strange. When you enrage waves, yeah, the hit points all go up, but when special monsters come onto the field, they don't have anything that buffs them up accordingly to the same amount as what's going on here. Oh! Okay, I've got a hole in my mana farm, that sucks. Be right back. Please block. Please. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Time for something drastic. Let's just, that sucks. Anyway. Whoops. Alright. Let's upgrade all of this. Yeah, it's getting pretty laggy. I hope I fix this up before I spawn at the very least wave 88 and 89. It sucks that they start together. That really sucks, actually. Oh no, I don't have anywhere near enough mana to do this. Oh, this sucks so much. Okay. I'm really hoping the whatever. Alright. It is what it is. Let's just let everything go through and then we'll just deal with it. Alright, what have we got here? We've got this. And we've got a spire that's threatening to come in. That's interesting. Not gonna lie, that Wizard Hunter really screwed me over. Otherwise, I would have gone nuts with the enraging. Oh, hello. You, come here. Thank you. Finally. Okay. Now, Mana Farm, take 2. Well, I'm just going to have this attack random monsters. I want stuff to go ahead and banish because I want the mana. Not gonna lie. Oh wow. Those swarms were really weak, weren't they? Let's get rid of this spire. And let's also get rid of everything that is nearest to the orb. Alright, well, grade 17 is not too bad. Usually I hope for around grade 18 for my kill gem, but 17 we can deal with this. I didn't get to enrage any of the later monsters anyway because of that bloody Wizard Hunter. But, oh well, que sera, sera, it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and have this pylon finish off the last stuff. This is kind of redundant at the moment because none of these monsters are overly strong, but basically this is how I would clean up the rest of the stuff. I would enrage like crazy with like a grade 9 or grade 10 gem, and then the result would be me going ahead and slowly polishing off everything with a pylon, because monsters, especially when they come in for the first time and haven't been banished before, comparatively speaking, compared to what I'm getting with the mana farm at this point and how much the banishment cost is for each monster, it really doesn't hurt for them to just sort of, you know, go ahead and slowly go through again and again and again, because they'll slowly get picked off by the pylon. That's my strategy. Anyway, there it is. How many fragments did I get? Ooh, hello. 3 rarity 80s. Okay, this kind of sucks because I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I can't use this one at the corner. I can't use this one because there's already really good one in the other corner. I might be able to use this one and that's it. Ooh, all skill levels. Hello. That's going in. I don't care where or how. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to shove it in and it's going to be awesome. Hopefully. Let's see. Bingo. You're going right there. Yes, you are. Because in the bottom row, I'm going for this sort of leaf-looking marking fragment. And this one's the odd one out. So, straight in there you go. Do you fit? You almost fit. Okay, time to waste about 5,000 shadow cores. 4,000. Lovely. That worked. Now, yeah, I can't use that one. And what's this? Construction skills, rarity 70. Rarity 86, focus skills. Focus skills, no. Now, that's the thing. Is it worth the trade-off? I don't think it is. Construction skills, I've got skills in the pylon, amplifier, and traps. And traps is reasonably high in terms of amount of skills spent. Focus is these 4 up here. So I do spend quite a bit on true colors. I spend a bit on resonance as well. I wonder, is it worth it? I'm just doing some housekeeping at this point. I'm ticking everything down that needs to be ticked down. Let's see, which is pretty much everything actually. That's nice. I like that. Now, unfortunately I can't use this, but it's not +1 to all skill levels, so bye bye. Let's see, focus skill levels. Let's see, what's more important? The way I play, do I put even amounts in the skill for trap as I do with the skill for true colors? I do. Okay, so these two trade each other out. It's really between these two and this. These three. Actually, you know what? Yeah, focus skills. I put more overall skill points in focus skills than I do in construction skills. So, if I have the shadow cores for it, this one's going out and that one's going in. Let's see, 160. So it's got, what are the important things? It's all about the mana. So this has initial mana and mana from starting waves early. Anything else of any noteworthy bonus? Not really. Nah. All in all, that used to be a great fragment for me, but I think it's definitely run its course with this now. Let's see, what have we got? Let's see. Beam, bolt, freeze, yep, swarmlings. So we've got initial mana. Oh, it does giants. It does extra damage to just about everything. That's nice. Barrage, barrage. Wasps. Shrine charge. And focus skills. And I don't really look forward to the mana for starting waves early bonus, so whatever. Let's just get rid of that. Let's modify this. Now, do I or do I not have enough shadow cores to upgrade this all the way? Drum roll, please. Oh, short 600, but I got the +1 to all skills anyway. Okay, so that is how I get fragments for my talisman now, at least higher rarity ones, slowly swapping out all the ones that I can and also placing where I can get them fragments in the right spots with the right markings. Although I have to admit, after playing Field A1 5 or 6 times over, I think I've only found one. Is it one? No. Yeah, one fragment with the right markings, where one with the right markings hasn't existed previously. No, I haven't at all. No, I've replaced these two, which were just fragments with the same markings but lower rarity. So I just put these in to pump them up, get the +1 to those sorts of skills, plus all the extra, nice little changes. Let's see. As for everything else, yeah, no, I've got about 10 or 12 fragments that are of rarity about 70 and above, and not one of them has gone ahead and done anything that actually replaces a fragment that is not already contributing to the bonus. That kind of sucks. Is that just bad luck, or is this just the way it is? Is it a slow grind towards trying to at least complete the talisman to get the most out of the talisman bonuses, well, minus the rarities? Or is this normal? Let me know, guys. But anyway, that's an example of me playing and getting fragments, how I get them now, and also showing you the fruits of my labor. Oh, really bummed out I was short, 790 cores. This late in the game, that's not much. Anyway, have a good one, guys.